Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with a CO2 BB pistol tabletop review. I won't be doing any shooting at all in this video, no pre-tests or anything like that. I will be doing a dedicated field test shooting review to follow shortly. So I won't have a lot of feedback in terms of how this gun performs. I can give you some basic ideas about trigger pull, talk a little bit about things like adjustable sights, double single action, all that kind of stuff, but I can't really tell you exactly how it's going to shoot, how accurate it is, what the true FPS is, things like that. So let's get on with some of the specifications. This is the Umarex Magnum Research Baby Desert Eagle. It's a CO2 BB pistol, and it's a non-blowback, mostly plastic constructed gun. It uses standard 12-gram CO2 cartridges, uses 4.5mm steel BBs, not lead pellets or airsoft BBs. It has a 4.25-inch non-rifled barrel. The internal spring-fed magazine holds 15 rounds. This gun weighs in at 1 pound, 454 grams, and is double action only with a claimed FPS of 420. Now Umarex also makes a pellet version in a full-size Magnum Research Desert Eagle, so we'll bring that in here just so you can see the size difference. So some of you might say, that's not a gun. This is a gun. Anyways, quite a bit difference in size. That's why they call this the Baby Desert Eagle. It is a loose replica of a Magnum Research Desert Eagle. In terms of design, yes, but in terms of size, it's quite a bit smaller, as you can see. So very small compared to the actual size. But, you know, if you have a smaller hand, then the big Desert Eagle, this guy here, probably going to be too big if you have a small hand, because it's got a big, long, wide grip. Make sure to check out my review for the pellet Umarex Desert Eagle, Magnum Research Desert Eagle. Really nice gun. Again, plastic, but weight, size, completely different gun when you compare the two. Now the Umarex Magnum Research Baby Desert Eagle comes in your plastic wrap here. Just like this, I've opened it up, taken the gun out. You can see here. Now it says 410 FPS, but in some of the instructions it says 420. 15 rounds, 12 grams CO2, steel BB, built-in magazine. Not sure if that's a feature. Alright. Now it did come with some other things I'll show you in a second. You'll notice the picatinny rail here. It's not on because you can't really use the sights if you're going to go with the picatinny rail. See if you can see this here. Alright. Now before I show you what actually came in the packaging, I just want to show you this other option here. We don't have it listed just yet on the Replica Airgun site, but hopefully we will. This is sort of the combo kit. So you get your glasses, you get your CO2 and your BBs. But other than that, same gun, same performance, same everything. Alright, so inside the packaging, we have this picatinny rail, came with it. And it just slides on the front. Okay, and then it'll actually screw in. You just take that screw out and put this screw in, but you'll see you're going to lose your sights. You're not going to be able to see or use your sights. So we can't use this unless I wanted to put some sort of red dot on there. I'm just going to test the gun using the open iron sights. Now it did come also, this was attached to the trigger guard here. Just a little quick tips thing. Read manual, of course. Do not over tighten CO2 screw, puncture screw. Do not overload magazine. Now this says 16 BBs, but the other oh, sorry, 15, can't read. Pull spring follower back before loading, release spring follower, use steel BBs only. I did get a manual, okay? I'm not going to show you, it's just a standard manual, how to load it, how to put the CO2 and the BBs in, usually some basic instructions, sighting instructions, things like that. Did get the Umarex USA Airgun registration, okay? You'll want to fill that out. Some safety tips for people to read through, and again some more information. Caution: do not cock or load gun before reading information. So here's that 420 FPS, right? Alright, so let's do a quick walk around of this pistol. We'll start with the left side. There's not going to be a lot to show you in terms of functionality. So here we have our licensing, the Baby Desert Eagle, Magnum Research, so it's licensed. We have our picatinny rail here. We have the slide catch release that actually doesn't do anything, molded in We have the fake ambidextrous safety, which is molded in. We do have this cross bolt safety. Okay, so can't pull it. You can pull it. The trigger is kind of funky. This little slot is, I guess, for the cross bolt, right? A little bit weird. Not the prettiest trigger I've seen in an air gun. Again, the picatinny rail, right? Well, look, this is how you load it. So you would slide this forward and get in there and put your BBs in that track there, in that hole. Once they're in, you just allow the follower, the spring follower, to push the BBs back. Alright, you do have your logo there. Now this just comes back, put your CO2 in. Just as simple as it gets. If you want a simple gun, simple everything, really not too much to go wrong. That's the bonus to a simple gun. Very few moving parts, very few things to go wrong. Okay, let's look at the other side. So we have serial number, caliber, some more warning instructions, made in Taiwan. Again, so this is just saying push, fire for fire. Again, you load the CO2 from the other side. Okay, so you do have your screw holes on this side, so you're going to have the holes because it's basically a two-piece gun that's just basically screwed together, snap together, screw together. This, I guess, would be your takedown lever or something, I'm assuming. Look at that picatinny rail. So you could put a laser, red dot, well, or laser, maybe a tack light down there. You do have noticeable seams because it is a two-piece gun molded together. Hammer, non-functioning again, doesn't do anything. Just your standard post, right? Another seam and notch, right? Does the job. Non-adjustable, so if you have to make adjustments, you'll have to do it visually. Just make corrections where you're aiming, adjust your aim point. The barrel is recessed, that's nice. Okay, so it's got the nice wide open barrel. And that's pretty much it. There's not much more really going on with this gun. Plastic CO2 tab does flip up. That's pretty much it. Alright, so let's get into some of the pros and the cons. It's a very low cost gun at around $50. Not going to break the bank. It's a smaller version of the full-size Desert Eagle, so if perhaps you're younger or you have smaller hands, this will definitely fit your hand a lot better, but then you'll still have the opportunity to get a Desert Eagle styled pistol. Now you do get the top and bottom picatinny rails, which is great, so if you want to put a red dot on there and perhaps a laser or some sort of tack light, you can get all that on this gun very easily. So if you want to dress it up a bit, it is Magnum Research Desert Eagle branded there. You can see Baby Desert Eagle. And the fact that it's such a simple gun with very few moving parts means that there's probably not much to go wrong, as opposed to guns that have a whole bunch of working parts. You know, things can go wrong, right? Parts can break, things can snap off, things just sometimes stop working. Alright, let's get into some of the cons. It's obviously an all plastic gun with just a few internal metal parts. Again, not a lot of working parts except for the trigger and the safety. Everything else is molded into the plastic. The double action trigger is a little clunky. It's kind of awkward. You know, I'm not really a fan of this style looking trigger. It's almost like a 1911 trigger, but instead of being single action, it's double action, so it's long and a bit heavy. Now once you mount the top picatinny rail on here, this guy, you're not going to be able to use those top iron sights, so keep that in mind. Also a bunch of screw holes on the left hand side. Take a little bit away from the looks of this gun. And there's no dropout metal magazine or any magazine of any sort, so you can't do any fast loading. If you had two magazines, you'd be able to load a few of them up if you had them, and then be able to just put your CO2 in, drop a mag, put a new mag in, and just do some real quick shooting. So you're going to have to pop this forward, load it up, put your 15 BBs in between shots. Alright, that wraps up this tabletop review for the Umarex Magnum Research Baby Desert Eagle CO2 BB pistol. Stay tuned for my field test shooting review, which will be out shortly. Try and remember to put a link in here. Alright, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also come on down to replicaairguns.com where we have a bunch of articles, post reviews, usually some additional photos for you of these products. We also have our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores where we sell air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.